Alright, what up? Today I will be talking about each zodiac's strongest and weakest chakra. I came to this idea because I was making a series about each individual chakra on my channel, and to kind of give a deeper understanding of what that chakra is all about, I wanted to include which zodiacs have the strongest chakra so that a person can kind of connect it to astrology if they already have an understanding of astrology. But now I'm also using, the chakras to explain the astrology. So I'm mixing that together. And what I'm going to be focusing on mainly are the strengths of each sun sign zodiac. Your sun sign is the main archetype which you're dealing with. It's your main karmic kind of archetype. So that archetype encompasses certain themes, certain characteristics, and is ruled by a specific planet, which also has certain qualities about it. And all of that gives you certain strengths and even a potential weakness, right? So I am going to connect it with the planets, explain the planets, and also tie in a little bit of mythology. I'm mainly gonna be focusing on the strengths because that's my overall life philosophy, is that I believe you need to be conscious of your weaknesses. You need to kind of understand what your weak points are. But I never understood the whole argument that you need to, put in extra effort towards your weak points. I always believe that, for me personally, like if I'm good at something, if I enjoy something, that is what I pursue further and become, better at. Instead of taking the thing which I'm bad at and don't care about and dislike and put my attention and energy and, focus towards improving that. I believe if you follow the path which you're already good at, something you already have a natural interest in, something that genuinely brings you interest and happiness, you're going to be way happier and more successful than focusing on what you're bad at. You need to, I don't know, if it's something completely horrible that you, I don't know, it drowns out the rest of your life, then sure. But I'm not, it's like coming up to Usain Bolt and being like, yo, you may be the fastest guy on planet Earth, but you're really bad at swimming. He's gonna look at you like, gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I'm the fastest guy. Why do I need to be good at swimming? It's like telling Elon Musk, you don't have you don't have a six pack. Bruv, I'm Elon Musk. I put rockets into space. Why do you care, So, I believe people become more successful quicker and happier and more fulfilled quicker if they actually follow their passion, follow their highest excitement, follow their purpose, and that is often tied into what you're good at, right? So there's also with the astrology, there's a clear theme to what the strengths of each zodiac, because there's a ruling planet for that. But the weakness is very sort of superficial. It's not very, all this stuff is very generalized. But the weakness part of this video, I'm maybe gonna mention like a couple sentences about the weaknesses, because it's very sort of, there's no evidence or structure behind that whatsoever. Let's get started with the Aries, the first sign. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is the god of war, Ares, literally giving them that warrior-like essence, that masculine, go-getting type of attitude, that masculine energy, that warrior energy. It is probably one of the most masculine zodiacs there is, right? So their strongest chakra would be the solar plexus, right? Also, by the way, if you have no idea about the chakras, maybe go to watch my videos on them first if you have no idea what that whole thing is. In case you have an idea of what that is, that video is for you. Let's keep going. So yeah, the solar plexus chakra, they are able to really be assertive. That's that confidence, that yellow, fiery energy where they know what they want and they go after it, right? It's that determined warrior-like theme, you know? It's that bright energy. So, right, that would be the strongest energy center they have. They have a great deal of confidence, of everything ruling the solar plexus chakra, right? The weakest, however, is the heart. Maybe it's because they have this sort of almost like egotistical approach to life. You know, Aries is the first of the signs, it's the I am. A great deal of importance is placed upon the I. It's the like the baby of the zodiacs. So it's possible that they need to work on their heart chakra and develop more empathy towards others. That is completely justifiable when the planet that rules your zodiac is literally Aries, who is the god of war and destruction. Makes complete sense. So let's go on to the Taurus. The Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus having everything to do with beauty, sexuality, kind of that, you know, pretty things, let's put it that way. Also kind of the five senses. And the Taurus, if we look at the human anatomy, they rule the eyes, ears, nose, and throat. So a lot of the neck area, right? And that area strongly deals with the five senses. That is what they have a great deal of importance on, right? The five senses. So the strongest chakra for them would be the heart, because they have this sort of loving, compassionate, empathetic, caregiving nature towards them. They're very peaceful beings often. But it could also be the sacral, because the sacral chakra rules the feeling, the also creative expression. Some of the greatest artists of the world are Tauruses. They seem to have this very great deal of creativity around them. And yeah, that also ties with their weakness, which would be the crown chakra. Because the Taurus is so grounded, it's a fixed earth sign, so they are very stable people, they are very grounded people. They're all about just being, you know, on planet Earth, smelling the flowers, tasting the great food, having the great sex, going on the great adventures, you know, having the great views or whatever. So they're all about the physical, material type of pleasures of the world, right? And that means that it's possible that their weakest chakra would be the crown, which has to do with the spiritual side of things. Because they are so grounded, they are so fixed on the material side of things, they can very much neglect their spiritual side, their intuition, their that type of energy. That may be something a Taurus needs to work on. Let's go on to the Gemini. The Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury being the fastest moving planet, right, no need to go further there, but also connected to the god Mercury or Hermes, who is the messenger of the gods, seen to carry the light and give it as a gift towards suffering humanity from Mount Olympus, right? He is the god of communication, commerce, trade, anything to do with money, finances, business, also thieves for some reason. That is all tied to Mercury, Hermes. He is seen to have the winged sandals, right? Giving that speed. And that all ties to Gemini's strongest chakra being the throat chakra. They are literally one of the best communicators of the zodiac. Also, Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac. The third letter of the alphabet is C. If we tie it to letterology, what type of words start with the letter C? Communication, counselor, consultant, clown, comedian, comic, commerce, that sort of stuff, right? So their mind is also very quick. They have this dualistic nature to themselves. However, they are great expressors of that internal state. It's possible that they are the greatest communicators because they have this very rich internal world. They are very quick moving. They're a bit hyperactive in a way. So if they did not express that internal state, they would suffer from that. Maybe that's why they have this giant need of expression, and that is why they are gifted at it. Their weakest chakra could be the solar plexus, because the solar plexus deals with action, with actually being that determined, go-getting nature. But the Gemini may overthink instead of act upon their needs and desires, because it is an air sign, the air dealing with the intellect, with the ego, the rational mind. And they may not be able to bring their ideas down to, planet Earth and ground them. And they may overthink and be unable to focus all of their attention towards a specific thing, towards a specific task, one task at a time, that sort of nature. Let's go on to the Cancer. I'm a fellow Cancerian here. To all my fellow Cancers, much love. Anyways, the Cancer's strongest... the Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon being the feminine principle. The sun is masculine. We're going to get there with the Leo. But the moon is the opposite polarity, which is the feminine. The moon is literally the mother archetype. But some themes which have to do with the moon are psychic abilities, intuition, wisdom, knowledge, that sort of stuff. So the Cancer's strongest chakra tends to be the third eye chakra. They are known to be overly sensitive, right? Can confirm. And that tends to be a gift and a curse, because they are more sensitive to the pain of life, but they're also more sensitive to the pleasure of life, right? They just feel things deeper. It's a water sign as well. So they're very emotional, right? And the third eye, connection to the moon, has to do with the intuition, with the psychic abilities, and sort of almost like clairvoyant themes, right? Cancers are very susceptible to having visions or receive messages in their dreams, have very vivid dreams. So the Cancer is definitely very sort of connected to the cosmos in a way, because they just have this special, almost psychic-like connection, right? That can be used as a great tool. It can also be of great harm. That's for each Cancerian to figure out for themselves. So that intuition is going to be their strength, the third eye. Their weakest chakra could be the sacral chakra. Because they are so emotional, they really are able to hold on to emotion, and they overthink things that they feel. They feel things much deeper than many other signs, which can make them disbalanced emotionally, which can give them all types of mental issues and disturbances. So the sacral chakra, ruling kind of the pleasure and the emotional state as well, could be their weakness, because they just struggle balancing their emotions. They struggle making sense of everything. They often have destructive coping mechanisms for their emotions. They may not have the healthiest ways of dealing with their emotions, right? So that is something a Cancerian may have to work on. Before I go any further, if you wanna kind of dig deeper on this subject for yourself, a book I highly recommend is The Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter. There, she literally describes each chakra, each energy center, and provides you with certain mantras, mudras, overall philosophy, and yoga poses to balance and stimulate the flow of each of those energy centers we call the chakras. This book is a great inspiration for both this video and my entire series on the chakra system. Now, let's go on to the Leo. The Leo is a very interesting one because it is ruled by the sun. The sun is the center of our galaxy. It is the light emitting being. It is that warm thing. Whatever that sounded like. It has to do with the masculine principle, as I've just described, the moon feminine, the sun masculine, and the Leo does encompass that sort of prideful nature to themselves. But why did I mention the sun being the center of the galaxies? Because their strongest chakra is the heart chakra. The heart being the center of the human system, right? Just as the sun is the center of the galaxy, our heart is that same kind of theme, right? So also the Leo is directly tied to the heart, major arteries, so as well as the lower back. So it may be necessary for Leos to have a cholesterol, like a low in cholesterol type of diet, that sort of thing, because they're very susceptible to that heart theme. I have a whole nother video talking about how the Zodiacs match the body parts of the physical body. But anyway, their strongest chakra is the heart chakra, center of the galaxy. They appear to have, they want to be perceived as this very tough, masculine leader, king of the jungle type of thing. But deep down inside, they have a very, very warm and sensitive heart. They are very also sensitive and emotional beings, even though they may not like to show it, because they like to be the king of the jungle, and the king shall not display any signs of weakness at any given point ever. But yeah, that's that. Their weakest chakra could be the third eye, because they play by their own rules. The third eye having to do with knowledge, intuition, that sort of stuff. Their ego, their king of the jungle type of thing, can make them ignorant towards certain ideas or certain perspectives, and they may be very fixed in how they perceive things. They may build up a certain philosophy or adapt a philosophy of somebody else if that sticks with their own kind of thing, and then they just roll with it. They roll with it for a very, very long time, and nobody's really able to influence them. They can be stubborn, and that's the thing. That's why they can lack in the third eye chakra, because in a way they can be ignorant towards outside perspectives. They are the king of the jungle. That means they know everything. They have all the answers, etc., etc. Now, Virgo is, like the Gemini, also ruled by Mercury, the fastest moving planet. And their strongest chakra is also the throat chakra. But unlike the Gemini, which uses it to express their ideas, their just internal state, the Virgo uses the gift of communication to nurture, heal, support, and uplift others. They really have this kind of caregiving, nurse-like nature, right? That's all I got for the Virgo. Their weakest could be the sacral or solar plexus chakra. The Virgo has to do with the stomach. Also, the stomach being tied to the Virgo, that also has to do with digestion. The solar plexus ruling digestion, that seems to be their weakness. I don't want to expose nobody here. I'm going to go on to the Libra. There's some interesting stuff about the Libra. Now, the Libra is ruled by Venus, like the Taurus, so they have this love of the material part of life, beauty, beautiful places, beautiful people, beautiful things, beautiful, I don't know, books, whatever, very sexual, that sort of stuff. And their strongest would be the sacral, right? The sacral ruling over their creativity and sexual side, right? The sacral rules sexuality, relationships, how you view yourself in relationships, how you view others in relationships. And that is something that is very important for the Libra, right? Their weakness is a very interesting one, and that's the one, I'm sorry to my Libras, but I have to go in deeper here because this is an important point to mention. Because they have this need and love of harmony, right? The scales, always keeping things balanced, always wanting to have harmony. They don't want to hurt anyone. They don't want to offend anyone's feelings. They really just want peace on earth. Fair enough. But they take it more extremely than other signs, which means that they may often hold off certain authenticity or truth for the purpose of preserving peace. And that is actually something maybe virtuous at times, that can be a virtuous, useful quality, but at times it does not serve them or the others, which they want to, keep the peace with. Because they hold off the authenticity, their weakest chakra would be the throat chakra. The throat chakra doesn't rule creativity and expression as much as it does authenticity and truth, right? So when a person tends to lie a lot or tends to live in a suppressed state of authenticity, their throat chakra, or the physical area around the throat, dealing with the voice, tongue, jaw, thyroid, that area seems to get blocked or disturbed, disbalanced, even on the physical plane, right? And with the Libra, they can suffer those kind of throat chakra negative manifestations because they hold off authenticity. They don't necessarily want to lie. I'm not saying they're liars, but what I'm saying is they may not always speak the very truth they see in front of their own eyes, because if they said it, they would offend somebody, and that would cause a disbalance which they so strongly dislike. So the Libra tends to be very snaky. They kind of wiggle through life. They don't like to be confronted. They don't like direct confrontation. They're not the type to go up. If they're a boss and they have 10 employees and one of them shows up to work, I don't know, whatever, it's time to fire that guy, they're gonna struggle literally confronting that person and being like, yo, you know what, you're out of here, you gone, you out, right? They don't do well with confrontation. They want to keep that peace. So because of that, suppressed authenticity, suppressed truth, suppressed throat chakra. Let's go on to the Scorpio. The Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. Pluto is literally death, decay, destruction. Mars, as with the Aries, the god of war. That's what gives Scorpios this very intense nature. They have this deep passion, right? And a lot of people get the Scorpio wrong. A lot of people see the Scorpio as like some kind of psychopath. That's not necessarily the case. It's just those are the themes which they are dealing with in this reincarnation, maybe. But their strongest chakra, just as with the Aries, would be the solar plexus chakra, right? They're a fixed water sign, right? Fixed water is literally ice, so that's tied to being kind of cold, like heartless, that sort of stuff. And they can be seen as that. They can be seen as brutal, way too intense, way too kind of dark and destructive, right? But that solar plexus chakra is their strongest one because it also gives them a great deal of inner power, a great deal of willpower, so they can really achieve the things which they want to achieve. They really go after it, right? Cool. But the weakest one would be the heart. Just like with the Aries also being the heart, that overly brutal, intense, passionate energy can really give them a lack of empathy for others or themselves. Maybe that is a factor of how the world treats them. Maybe the world and other people treat them a certain way their entire life, and that only puts them, more into the dark, hidden under the sand, dangerous type of persona. So what they need to work on is their heart chakra, because they can be very vengeful. They're very, they're not to mess with. A scorpion bite hurts. I'm a Cancer. If you get on my bad side, I may, pinch you or whatever. You'll get over it eventually. But with a Scorpio, that stinger, bro, that shit will fuck you up. I'm not even joking. So you don't want to mess with a Scorpio, right? That's what gives them that strong presence, that strong aura in a way. They are also a water sign, water being the feeling, the emotional part of us. And just like the Cancer, they can hold on to emotion for way too long. It's just the Cancer may get over it even quicker than the Scorpio. The Scorpio is like the snake that's gonna wait for the right moment to strike back and be vengeful, or they hold on to certain negativity for way too long, just pulling themselves deeper into the darkness. But they can also be overly jealous and possessive, right? So all those themes have to do with the heart chakra. I'm sorry, my fellow watery Scorpions, we're literally so connected. We both have a hard shell, but we're super chill on the inside once you get to know us. But I had to say something, because this might be useful for somebody. So let's go on to the Sagittarius. Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. That is a very interesting one. Their strongest chakra would be the throat chakra. Is it because they're the best communicators? No. Is it because they're the best at expressing themselves, the most creative? No. It is because one of the main focuses of a Sagittarius is authenticity and honesty. And those two themes have a direct association with the throat chakra, right? Even though, the Gemini and the Virgo both being ruled by Mercury, they have the strongest throat chakra, but that's because Mercury, fastest moving planet, messenger of the gods, Hermes. With the Sagittarius, that's not the case. It's literally the authentic part of them. They are very real. And that is a quality I personally very respect in people. I would much rather be with someone who's maybe not overly nice or overly cautious and a bit less sensitive, but real. I think the world nowadays is becoming disgustingly fake. Everything, up to the point where sometimes it feels like nothing is even real. You spend way too much time, I don't know, looking at what's going on in the world, or just, I don't know, existing, and you may really feel like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You know, what is happening? You can sort of really disconnect, and you don't even know what's real, what's fake anymore. With people and social media, relationships are becoming more shallow. Things are just weird in the world right now. I think I'm not crazy for saying that. If you don't see it for yourself, soon you may see it crystal clearly. Give me a sec, I have to put on a lamp. Hold up. Damn. No, you know what? Fuck it. No lamp. Pure darkness. Like the Scorpio, like Batman. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, I very much value authenticity. I would much rather be with a person that's more mean, more kind of arrogant, but they're real. They're real. They speak their truth. They don't just say what's popular. They don't say what society or their friends or whatever expect them to say. I like realness. I really like realness. I think the world is disgustingly fake. People are becoming disgustingly fake. I don't know who that serves. I don't know why it is the way it is. But in a world full of fakeness, what you can really do is try to be real, whether that hurts anybody's feelings or not. And that is a theme which the Sagittarius encompasses, for which great respect, from me at least, right? The Sagittarius also deals with exploration, growth, expansion. I'm pretty sure Jupiter is the biggest planet. Expansion would make sense. Also travel, and the theme of truth and authentic expression has a strong connection to the Sagittarius because they are seekers of truth. They make great historians because they want to get into the, meat and potatoes of what actually went down in that particular historical time. They may have a great interest in religion, and they're gonna go and become, a strict religious individual because that is their truth, because that way they are manifesting that authentic truth into their life, which is so important for them. And also that traveling adventurous spirit is also tied to truth seeking. They want to use all these instruments to find deeper versions of themselves, access deeper states within, access your internal truth, right? Something I honestly respect them for very, very much. If that is something, whatever zodiac it is, who the fuck cares? You're a human being. If you're a real one, if you're an authentic individual, if you care about, being your most authentic self, however it is that you are, however you are, you being yourself, but being the real you is always going to be better than trying to put on an image of some prettier version of you or some more correct, more whatever version of you, because then you're just lacking this authenticity. As I've mentioned again, the world nowadays has a disgustingly low amount of authenticity and realness. I'm really hoping that in the year 2399, the YouTube algorithm puts this exact video out there, gives 10 reaches to the people living in the year 3299, and they're gonna see this video because they might be like, yo, this guy is like what, 1984 by George Orwell is like for us now. I don't know if this made sense to anyone. I don't know. But what I'm thinking is that we're headed towards this crazy dystopia where no one knows what's real and what's fake anymore. So this is a message to the people of the year 2299. There has once been a time where you knew the truth. Anyways, let's go on to the... No, hold up. With the Sagittarius as well, their weakest chakra could be the solar plexus, because it is rather on the overactive side. They are a fire sign. They are very, very energetic people, right? And the solar plexus is also that fiery masculine type of energy. And the weakest, I'm saying, is actually the overactive. When a chakra is overactive, that can be equally as destructive as an unbalanced or blocked off chakra. With the Sagittarius, they tend to be overly, assertive. They can be very impulsive to the point where they may even put themselves in danger. Depends which Sagittarius you're dealing with. They're overactive, they got the little bow and arrow. They have this dynamic between the human and the animalistic side, which is the body, head body of the human, but the legs of the horse. They're the centuron. Is that what you call it? You get what I'm trying to say. And they got the bow and arrow. And what they really need to focus on is really aiming for the target before they unload the chopper, unload the clip, right? And because otherwise the bullets just go everywhere, right? I've been in the army for a little bit, and I can confidently say that it's much better to pay an extra second towards being exactly on target than just taking a 20 round, putting it on full auto and spraying like a thunderstorm. That's not going to get you anywhere. That is what the Sagittarius may get confused. They may just spray, put their machine gun on automatic. Brrr. You may not reach your desired outcome. It would be much better for you to actually aim, pull back the arrow gently, and then when you let go, there's going to be so much more productivity and you are going to hit the bullseye, my friend. I don't exactly know how I connected to the solar plexus chakra. Whatever, bruv. I'm just yapping anyway. Anyways, the Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. If you want to get into a whole nother rabbit hole, look at Saturn in terms of like occult language. This Saturn has a lot to do. It is greatly connected to many ancient cults, many ancient like rites. There's literally like a rite, like a Saturnian brotherhood where they literally worship Saturn. If you're into the occult, any sort of esoteric occult knowledge, researching Saturn is something you can do for years and years on end and still having a lot of information to gather. But what's up with the Capricorn? Their strongest chakra is the root chakra, because the root chakra is all about that initial primal security and stability, which gives them the support they need to progress in their ambitious growth, in their journey to the top of the pyramid, right? It's the water goat, and goats, have you ever seen like a mountain goat climb a mountain? They don't stop until they're at the very top. Same thing with the Capricorns. They are known to be overly materialistic, overly that sort of thing. And their career is something they place a great deal of importance on. Their discipline, their structure, right? That is all that Saturn provides. Saturn gives a lot of discipline. It is Chronos. It's like the father figure. Right, really has to do with that discipline structure. Saturn also has to do with limitation, but that's for another video. I'm telling you, research Saturn. You'll get into some crazy stuff. Yeah, so strongest root chakra. Their weakest would be the crown chakra because they are overly materialistic. They're all about, what's going on this planet. Am I making enough money? How can I make more money? How can I move up in my career? But they don't really take the time to focus on the spiritual side of things, Right. Aquarius, ruled by Uranus and Saturn, right? Their strongest is the crown. As you know, we are entering the age of Aquarius, or we already are in the age of Aquarius, but Aquarius has to do with innovation and unconventional forward thinking. It is the man carrying the barrel of water, spilling that water. Pretty much what that symbolizes is getting rid of the old, getting rid of what no longer serves you or society, spilling the water, and by spilling the water over the old, it gives room for the new. In order for the cup to be filled, it needs to be emptied first. That sort of vibe. That's what I keep telling myself every time I check my bank account and it's absolutely empty. Yeah, that really helps. It's like, yeah, don't worry. In order for a cup to be filled, it needs to be emptied first. Don't worry, my friends. The cup is going to be filled. I'm going to figure it out. I'm really going to figure it out. But for now, let me tell you about Aquarius. So, right, that has to do with new ways of thinking. As we're entering the age of Aquarius, people are waking up towards certain spiritual truths, certain esoteric knowledge, certain new technology, new ways of thinking. That's what the Aquarius is all about. And they really use the crown chakra. Their strongest is the crown chakra. That crown chakra really allows them to bring those great higher ideals, those new ideas, and onto the planet. They serve humanity. They are of great service to humanity, our fellow Aquarians, because they bring the new ideas. They are kind of the philosophers of the zodiac in a sense, but also very good at science and that sort of stuff. Bro, I'm yapping like crazy. Where was I? Yeah, the weakest is the root because they're also an air sign, air all over the place, the intellectual part of our being, and they're not grounded in reality. They overthink things. They need to work on their root chakra, that base connection which grounds you to the earth, right? The lowest energy center. So let's go on to the Pisces. The Pisces is, hold up. The Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. Neptune having to do with the unconscious part of us, the spiritual and dreamy part of us, right? Pisces are known to be kind of the dreamers of the zodiac. They're, daydreaming. They are, like the Cancers, able to access certain visions or messages within their dreams. They may have very vivid dreams, that sort of stuff. So their strongest chakras would be the heart and the crown. The heart, because they are also overly empathetic. They make for very great counselors, consultants, therapists or psychologists, because they really have a loving nature to them. They really want to help others. They are very great at lifting others up. Even when they are not able to lift themselves up, they are able to lift others up. So that's what we got going on with the Pisces. The weakest would be the root, also because they're so dreamy. Neptune, they're so kind of in their mental, spiritual nature. They seem to not be grounded to reality, and they can have a disconnect. What's interesting about the Pisces is that it is ruled by the feet. You know, the fish has a tail. With the human, that would be the feet. The Pisces rules the feet. And the feet kind of connect you to earth. I don't know if you've ever heard of grounding. If there's like someone playing video games for 14 hours straight, their mom or someone, I don't know, in a comment section might be like, yo, go touch some grass. What they're implying is, you know, connect with nature, ground yourself, like return to planet Earth for a second. So yeah, the Pisces would find great benefit in grounding themselves, grounding their feet in water, grounding their feet in grass. That way they are able to have a greater connection with the root chakra. And I think I've done enough yapping. I cannot even lie. How long has it been? 46 minutes. That's insane. That's insane. It got dark. As I was filming, it was sunny outside. Now it's dark. That's just what we're dealing with, my friends. But yeah, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Whatever zodiac you are, whatever zodiac the people around you are, your best friends are, let me know if this makes sense. I hope that video was useful. And yeah, I wish you all the best. Love for all zodiacs, especially Cancers. See ya.